So we pulled up a little deep. Oh, something better come up. Huh? You said get out. Oh, my bad. God, what you bending over for? I got them. Hey.
What was supposed to be candles, frosting, and fake smiles turned into a full-blown internet crime scene in under 30 seconds. One moment it's a birthday celebration, the next moment it's chaos, cake trauma, and social media detectives pulling out magnifying glasses like this was a leaked Watergate tape. Because when Chrisean Rock walked into Miss Nikki's birthday moment, peace didn't stand a chance. The cake didn't stand a chance. And the internet. Oh, the internet absolutely lost its mind. This wasn't a quiet slip-up. This wasn't an awkward ups. This was one of those moments that makes people pause the video, rewind twice, and say, no. She really did that. Frosting everywhere, reactions frozen in shock, and the kind of silence that screams louder than a fire alarm. It felt like a secret got exposed live, unfiltered, and uncensored. The type of moment that turns into memes before the cake even hits the floor. And let's be honest, this wasn't just about dessert. This was about disrespect, attention, control, and the kind of chaos that follows Chrisean like a Netflix documentary crew on overtime. The Kardashians throw birthday parties like fairy tales. This made them look boring. Because when Chrisean goes nuclear, nobody's candles they lit out the room didn't feel dangerous at first. That's the funny part. It felt like one of those hold your phone up and smile moments that exist purely for Instagram stories and fake captions about love and good vibes. Balloons floating like they were paid extras, candles glowing like they thought they'd survive the night, and a cake sitting there minding its business, completely unaware it was about to become a historical artifact in internet chaos culture. Miss Nikki's birthday wasn't supposed to be a battlefield. It was supposed to be soft lighting, forced smiles, and one good photo for the algorithm. Then Chrisean Rock stepped into the frame. And suddenly the energy shifted like somebody unplugged the room and plugged it back in wrong. You know that feeling when the music is still playing, but everyone's instincts start whispering, yeah, something's about to happen. That's what this was. Chrisean doesn't enter rooms quietly. She arrives like a plot twist. Conversations hesitate. Laughter gets thinner. People start watching instead of participating. And that cake, sitting pretty in the middle of it all, became the most nervous object in the room. Because this wasn't just a birthday gathering. This was attention, ego, unresolved tension, and cameras all sharing oxygen. And when those ingredients mix, peace never survives. At first, everything looked normal enough to pass the vibe check. Smiles were present. Phones were already recording because, let's be honest, nothing is real anymore unless it's on camera. Miss Nikki was in birthday mode, doing what birthday girls do, trying to enjoy the moment without knowing the moment was already being hijacked. And Chrisean. She was being Chrisean. Loud presence, unpredictable energy, that anything can happen or that keeps people glued to their screens. Then the cake incident happened, and when it didn't feel accidental. It felt loud without sound. One of those moments where the room freezes, but the internet starts sprinting. Frosting got disrupted, the visual got messy, and reactions landed like delayed explosions. There was no smooth recovery. No quick joke that saved the vibe. Just shock, confusion, and that uncomfortable silence that only exists when everyone realizes the celebration just went off the rails. This wasn't a quiet slip. This wasn't a cute mistake. This was the kind of action that makes people pause the video, rewind, and say, no. She really just did that. The cake didn't just get ruined. The moment did. And the camera didn't flinch. Because the camera never flinches when chaos smells like viral content. You could see it on people's faces. That split second where they didn't know whether to laugh, gasp, or mentally prepare for the comment section to turn into a war zone. Miss Nikki's reaction was the kind that told a story without saying a word. That polite smile struggling to stay alive while the reality of the moment kicked in. The kind of expression that says, "I'm trying to keep this classy, but this wasn't part of the plan." And Chrisean. She looked unbothered. That's what sent the internet into orbit, because this wasn't just about cake. This was about respect, attention, and whose moment it really was. Birthdays are sacred in internet culture. They're protected zones. Temporary ceasefires where drama is supposed to clock out for at least 24 hours. And when that rule gets violated, people take it personally, like someone unplugged the Wi-Fi during a live stream. Within minutes, the clip started spreading. Not hours, minutes. Screenshots flew faster than explanations. Group chats lit up. Reaction channels smelled blood. And suddenly, what happened in that room wasn't just their business anymore. It was everyone's business. Because once something goes viral, context becomes optional and opinions become mandatory. Some people rushed to defend it, saying it wasn't that deep, saying people were too sensitive, saying it was just cake. And that argument sounded cute until you flipped it around. Because if it was just cake, why did it feel so disrespectful? Why did the room go quiet? Why did Miss Nikki's smile look like it needed therapy? Others didn't hesitate to call it out, saying it was attention-seeking, saying it was deliberate, saying it was another example of Chrisean turning someone else's moment into her own highlight reel. And suddenly, this wasn't about dessert anymore. It was about patterns, history, reputation, the long list of moments where chaos followed her like a shadow that never clocks out. And here's where it gets interesting. Because Chrisean rock doesn't just go viral by accident. She exists in that rare space where people watch even when they swear they're tired of watching. Love her or hate her, I stay locked. That's power. Dangerous power. The kind that turns simple moments into headline generators. The internet started asking questions immediately. Was it intentional? Was there tension before this? Was this a joke that didn't land? Or was this another example of someone refusing to let the spotlight leave their orbit for even 1 minute? Everyone had a theory. Everyone had a take. And none of them were quiet. The cake became a symbol overnight. Memes compared it to fallen empires. Captions read like crime reports. People joked that the cake never stood a chance once Chrisean showed up. Others said Miss Nikki deserved better. And somewhere in the middle, reality got buried under punchlines and reposts. But one thing was undeniable. The moment worked. Not for peace. Not for celebration. But for virality. Because in today's internet economy, chaos is currency. And Chrisean rock just cashed another check. The craziest part. This wasn't even the aftermath yet. This was just the spark. The opening scene. The moment before the internet did what it does best, which is escalate everything until nobody remembers how it started. Only how loud it became. And while Miss Nikki's birthday quietly faded into the background, replaced by think pieces and reaction videos. Chrisean's name climbed back into trending territory like it never left. Another clip, another debate, another moment that proved peace doesn't trend, but chaos always does. And this was only the beginning. Because once the internet locks onto a moment like this, it doesn't let go. It rewrites it, amplifies it, drags it through every platform until everyone involved is forced to react, whether they want to or not. What started as candles and frosting had officially turned into controversy and commentary. And the next wave was already loading. Once the clip escaped the room, it didn't walk onto the internet. It detonated. Overnight, timelines looked like a crime scene made entirely of frosting jokes and slow-motion replays. Twitter turned into a courtroom. Instagram became a meme factory. TikTok treated the moment like a national holiday. Everyone had an opinion, and nobody was subtle about it. The cake didn't just get ruined. It got immortalized. Memes popped up faster than explanations. People edited dramatic music behind the clip like it was a Netflix finale. Others added courtroom sound effects, acting like the cake needed justice. Someone compared the moment to flipping a table at a wedding. Another said it felt like blowing out someone else's candles just to prove you can. And once the jokes started, there was no stopping them. The internet doesn't ask if you're okay before it eats. What really sent things into overdrive wasn't just the act itself. It was the silence afterward. No immediate apology. No quick laugh-it-off moment. No damage control tour. Just the clip floating freely, collecting takes like Pokemon cards. And in internet culture, silence is never neutral. Silence is fuel. Influencers started chiming in without even knowing Miss Nikki personally. Suddenly, everyone became a birthday etiquette expert. You don't do that at someone's celebration. That's basic respect. Main character syndrome at its finest. The phrases changed, but the message stayed the same. This wasn't cute. This wasn't funny. This was wild. And of course, the defenders showed up too. They always do. Some said people were overreacting. Others said Chrisean is just misunderstood. A few claimed it was all jokes and the internet was reaching. But even those defenses sounded tired, like they'd been copy-pasted from past controversies. Because the problem wasn't the cake. It was the pattern. People started pulling receipts from the past. Old clips, old moments, old situations where chaos followed her like a storm cloud with Wi-Fi. Suddenly, this wasn't one incident. It was another chapter. Another reminder that wherever Chrisean goes. Another reminder that wherever Chrisean goes. Unpredictability are SVP's early celebrity reaction pages jumped in next. Not because they cared about the cake, but because they care about engagement. And this clip was engagement gold. Polls went up asking if it was disrespectful. Comment sections turned into digital boxing rings. Some creators pretended to stay neutral while absolutely stirring the pot. Others leaned all the way in, calling it selfish, reckless, or attention-hungry without even blinking. One creator joked that the cake deserved hazard pay. Another said Miss Nikki should have blown out the candles faster before the chaos arrived. Laughs everywhere, but under the jokes was something sharper. A sense that this moment crossed a line people weren't willing to keep excusing. Then came the pop culture comparisons. People said this made reality TV meltdowns look tame. Others compared it to Kanye grabbing the mic, except this time the mic was made of frosting. Someone even joked that the cake had more emotional range than half the room. Harsh, yes, viral. Absolutely. And through all of it, Chrisean stayed exactly where she always is. At the center. That's the paradox. Every time the internet claims it's tired of her antics, it clicks faster, complains louder, shares more. Hate watching still counts as watching, and everyone knows it. Chrisean doesn't just trend. She hijacks attention. And this moment proved she doesn't need a scandal headline to do it. She just needs a room, a camera, and something fragile in reach. Meanwhile, Miss Nikki's name started circulating in ways she probably never wanted. People digging into her socials, commenting sympathy messages, asking if she was okay. Others saying she handled it gracefully. Some even saying they would have lost it if it were their birthday. Suddenly, she became the emotional anchor of the story. The calm against the chaos. And that contrast made everything louder. Because the calmer Miss Nikki appeared, the wilder Chrisean looked by comparison. Internet narratives thrive on contrast. Hero versus villain. Victim versus chaos. And even if nobody said it out loud, the roles were being assigned in real time. Reaction videos exploded next. You know the type. Someone staring at the screen, pausing every 3 seconds, saying "nay" repeatedly while zooming in like they're analyzing UFO footage. These videos didn't add new information. They didn't need to. They added outrage, humor, and reinforcement. And every reaction poured gasoline on the fire. Some people started speculating about behind-the-scenes tension. Was there beef before the party? Was there jealousy? Was this passive-aggressive chaos or just reckless behavior? No proof, no confirmation. Just theories stacking up like unpaid bills. And the internet doesn't wait for facts when speculation is more entertaining. Brands stayed quiet. Public figures avoided touching it directly. Nobody wanted to pick a side publicly because the moment was too messy, too unpredictable. To blink and you're dragged, that silence spoke volumes too. When even cloud chasers hesitate, you know the moment hit different. And yet, the numbers kept climbing, views, shares, saves, engagement spiking like the cake itself set off an algorithm alarm. The clip was everywhere. People who didn't even know who Miss Nikki was suddenly had opinions about her birthday. That's how fast chaos spreads when it's wrapped in controversy and sugar. By now, the narrative had fully shifted. This wasn't just about what happened. It was about what it represented: boundaries, respect, spotlight addiction. The cost of always being the loudest person in the room. People weren't just reacting to frosting. They were reacting to fatigue. Fatigue with unpredictability. Fatigue with moments that feel intentionally disruptive. Fatigue with celebrations turning into spectacles because someone couldn't let the camera focus elsewhere. And still, the internet kept watching. Because as much as people complained, they were already bracing for the next move. The response, the clap back, the explanation, or the lack of one. Everyone knew this story wasn't done. This was the middle episode where tension spikes, memes peak, and consequences start hovering in the background like thunderclouds. The cake was gone. The jokes were endless. The sides were drawn. And the internet had officially decided this wasn't just a moment. By the time the jokes slowed down, the damage was already baked in. Not the cake, obviously. That was gone. But the moment had settled into something heavier. Because after the memes fade and the timelines move on, what's left is perception. And perception is the one thing you can't scrape off with a napkin. Miss Mickey's birthday never got its redue. There was no reset button, no take two. The internet doesn't rewind for the people who didn't ask to trend. Her name was now permanently attached to a moment she didn't control. Sympathy poured in, sure, but sympathy doesn't undo embarrassment. It just confirms that something went wrong enough for strangers to care. And the wild part, she didn't even have to say much. Her silence, her calm, her refusal to explode publicly became part of the narrative. People started praising her composure like it was a masterclass in restraint. Comments saying she handled it with grace, that she was too classy for that chaos, that she deserved better. Without lifting a finger, she gained moral high ground simply by not matching the energy. That contrast did real damage, because while Miss Nikki was being framed as the calm in the storm, Chrisean's image took another hit it didn't need but somehow always collects. The internet doesn't judge people on single moments. It stacks them. And this one got added neatly to a growing pile labeled this again. Suddenly the conversation wasn't about intent anymore. It was about impact. People weren't asking why she did it. They were asking why this keeps happening around her. Why every room she enters eventually feels like it needs security, disclaimers, and a PR team on standby. That's when chaos stops being entertaining and starts looking exhausting. Brand-wise, this was another crack in the glass. Not the shatter, but the kind of fracture you notice when the light hits it just right. Companies don't care about cake, but they care about unpredictability. They care about moments that turn celebrations into controversy without warning. And even if nobody said it publicly, those conversations were happening quietly behind closed doors. Because virality is cute until it's volatile, friendships started getting questioned too. People wondering who stays, who distances themselves, who invites who next time, and who suddenly forgets to send the address. Moments like this change guest lists. They change dynamics. They change how people move around you when cameras are on and when they're off. And for Chrisean, this moment didn't isolate itself. It echoed. Every past incident suddenly felt louder in hindsight. Clips resurfaced. Old debates reignited. The narrative tightened. Not because this was the worst thing she's ever done, but because it was unnecessary. And unnecessary chaos hits different. That's the thing people don't always understand. The internet forgives mess when it feels justified, when it feels reactive, when it feels earned. But when chaos interrupts someone else's moment for no clear reason, forgiveness gets stingy. Public perception shifted subtly but noticeably. Not into outrage, not into cancellation, but into skepticism. That raised eyebrow energy. That here we go again sigh. The kind of response that drains goodwill slowly but surely. And yet, even with all that, the attention never left. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Moments like this don't end careers. They extend relevance. They keep names circulating. They guarantee that the next clip will be watched even harder. The internet claims it wants growth, accountability, and peace, but it rewards disruption every single time. Chrisean didn't lose visibility. She reinforced it, but visibility without control is dangerous. It means every move gets magnified. Every mistake gets archived. Every future celebration she walks into will now come with anticipation instead of trust. People won't relax. They'll brace. That's the cost no one talks about. As for Miss Nikki, she walked away with public sympathy but a stolen memory. Birthdays only happen once a year, and this one will forever be remembered for frosting chaos instead of candles. No amount of viral support replaces that. And that's where the story quietly stings. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was a reminder of how quickly attention can turn celebratory spaces into spectacle zones. How cameras don't just record moments, they transform them. How one impulsive act can rewrite an entire event's legacy in seconds. And the scariest part, nobody involved knows how this will echo next, because the internet never forgets. It waits, it watches, it remembers patterns. And it's already primed for the next headline, the next clip, the next moment where Chrisean walks into a room and everyone wonders what's going to break first. Peace doesn't follow her. Cameras do. And as long as that remains true, moments like this won't feel surprising. They'll feel inevitable. The cake was just the trigger. The fallout is the real story. And if history has taught the internet anything, it's that this won't be the last time chaos shows up uninvited. And just like that, another simple moment turned into a full-blown internet saga. A cake walked in innocent. A birthday tried to survive. And chaos clocked in early with no warning and no apologies. If you're still watching right now, congratulations! You officially witnessed how fast celebrations turn into controversies when cameras and personalities collide. Now, let me ask you something. Was this just harmless chaos? Was this just harmless chaos? Or was this another example of someone hijacking a moment that didn't belong to them? Because the comment section is already sharpening its knives, and I want to hear where you stand. Drop your take below. Don't be polite. Don't be shy. This is the internet. Say it with your chest. If this video made you pause, rewind, or say nah at least once, smash that like button like it owes you money. Hit it the way that cake got hit, unexpectedly and with full commitment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and fix that. Because stories like this don't come with warning labels. And we break them down every time the internet loses its mind. Turn on notifications too. Because scandals don't wait for permission. And neither do we. One clip, one moment, one wrong move, that's all it takes for the internet to explode. And you already know we're here when it does not at the end of the day. Birthdays come and go, cakes get replaced, and the internet moves on. But chaos leaves a receipt. And as long as cameras stay rolling and personalities stay unpredictable, moments like this will keep happening. So stay locked in, stay watching, and stay ready. Because over here, peace is optional, but drama is guaranteed. This is Celeb Insanity, where viral moments turn into permanent internet history.